Here's a step-by-step guide to Paper 1 AQA English Language. There are 5 questions on the paper and the paper is worth 80 marks in total. So strategy and timing and knowing what's required of each question are obviously extremely important here. For question number 1, it's only worth 4 marks. It's a really simple, straightforward 4 questions with 3 multiple choice answers. 1, obviously, you have to choose for each one. And this will take you only about 5 minutes. It's only asking you to read the first section of the text. So it might be only lines 1 to 5 or 1 to 4, a very short section of the text from the beginning. This is new for 2026. It used to be find 4 things. After you've done that, you are now moving on to question 2, and we know that question 2 is worth 8 marks, and question 2 will ask you about language. So how does the writer use language to describe whatever? Okay, it's always worded in that way. What the examiners are looking for here are, can you spot similes, metaphors, alliteration, onomatopoeia, adverbs, verbs, adjectives, personification, and can you use those as evidence but then explain the effects on the reader? So not that it creates a picture in your mind, but what does the comparison, why is the comparison extremely powerful for you? Okay, how does it link to the question? Always link back to the actual question, the specifics of the question. So if it asks you, how does the writer use language to describe the house in the story, for example, let's just keep it really basic. You have to, once you've used your evidence, say what that means about the house. So does it suggest that the house is old or ancient? If it's got rusty gates, for example. Or, the roof is sagging. Does that suggest that it's, being sort of left to rot and nobody's lived there for a while, or that it's been derelict for quite a while, etc. You should only be spending about 12 minutes on this if you want to make good use of time here. So you need to do this pretty quickly. So I would find 3 good language techniques, write them up. If you want to use any kind of like point evidence explain structure or point evidence explain link back to the question, point evidence technique analysis link. Obviously, finding techniques is important because subject terminology and showing the exam board that you know that subject terminology is crucial, as is explaining the effects on the reader. Then we're moving on to question 3. So another 8 marker here, so only another 12 minutes. And question 3 will always ask you about structure. For 2026, the ending is worded slightly differently. So it won't just be how does the writer structure the text to interest you. It will be how has the writer structured the text to create tension or to create mystery. It will be some specific feeling. Now, what I would suggest is that you find and comment on how the writer opens a text. Is it a setting? Is it a character? How does this make you feel? Are you hooked? Are you engaged? Why? Why do you think the writer did this? What do they want you to feel? Then where is there a shift of focus? Somewhere around the middle. Is there an introduction of character? Is there an introduction of some dialogue? Is there a flashback? Is there a shift in time? Any shift in focus that you think is effective that might, obviously give us a little bit more detail, maybe about the characters and reveal something about their relationship. Or it might be that it creates more tension in the story, or something, the mood changed. The mood could have been really calm and tranquil, and then all of a sudden we've got this warning sign that something bad's going to happen. Lots of different ways in which stories can change focus. Then I would focus on the ending. So endings of stories are often either a cliffhanger or an anticlimax or a cyclical structure, leaving the reader feeling that they want to find out something, but you have to say what it is that you want to find out. You can't just say makes the reader want to read on. Yes, you have to say something really specific about that particular text or about the character or what it is that's happening at the end of that story. Then for question 4, this is 25% of the paper actually. It's 20 marks, so we're hopefully, giving ourselves about 25 minutes to obviously plan for this, find our quotations and to write it up. And we're aiming for a good 4 to 6 paragraphs here with 4 to 6 different quotations. They will be given a statement and you will have to agree or disagree. Obviously, it's great if you can do both because that means you have more ideas. Backing these ideas up with evidence from the text and noting what the methods are used by the writer. And this could be a language technique or it could be a structural device here. So it's almost like you know, your ideas from 2 and 3 potentially could come into this. I don't think so with 2, because we have to only look at the ending often with question 4. It's normally like from the beginning to the end, lines 20 to the end, if you look at all of the patterns over the years. For question 5, you are going to be asked to write a story or a description. You'll be given a prompt for one of the questions, and you'll be given a picture for one of the questions. It can switch over each year. So sometimes it is that the description has got the picture, sometimes the story has the picture. The key thing here is that you think outside of the box and use your imagination. So don't write about the obvious. You know, really try to write about something that's different, that's original, that's interesting for your examiner to read. You have a range of vocabulary. We're looking for a range of punctuation, that you can structure your ideas well. So everything you've almost like analysed in section A, you're trying to show you can do in section B. That's the way that I see that. Now this is, it goes without saying, a massive part of the paper. It's 50% worth of the marks. So if you don't plan, and if you don't spend time thinking about your ideas and you just dive in, this is not going to be, you know, an organised piece that flows in a cohesive format, and that will lose you marks. You are getting marks for your content, your organisation, and your technical accuracy in your spelling. So it's really, really important that you, yes, use ambitious vocabulary, but can you use ambitious vocabulary in the correct context? Not just learning a set of words and trying to throw them in and make them fit, but can you spell them correctly as well? The other side of that is, don't just use simple vocabulary because you're not sure about your spellings, because that's not really showing that you can spell, you know, more difficult words correctly either. So I hope that helps. It's so important that you practice these papers under time conditions before you go into the exam. Otherwise you will feel extremely under pressure on the day. 1 hour 45 will go really, really quickly. Let me know how you're getting on in the comments, or if you have any more questions about any of the actual specific questions on the paper. Good luck.